Hi guys, I hope you're well. I hope you're excited for our lesson today. We are still doing fractions and we are doing something quite special today. So we'll be adding and subtracting fractions with an aid of factorization and also finding the LCD. So this is something that you definitely need a pen and paper for, and also you can bring some snacks, okay, if you want. All right guys, so now let's go to the first part of our lesson today, which looks at how to actually work with these fractions. So when simplifying algebraic expressions, specifically fractions, finding the LCD, so the lowest common denominator, it is very important. And doing so enables us to add or subtract the numerators if the denominators are not the same. So we need to ensure that the denominators are the same, okay? And if not, we find the LCD. So I'll just do one simple example for you. If I have a, let me just fix that. So if I have a divided by b plus c divided by b, it is quite easy for me to work with this because this is simply a plus c divided by p because I chose one denominator. But if I have a over b plus c over d, things are quite difficult because my denominators are not the same. So as I always suggest to you, and which I have also in the previous videos, and I will emphasize again on this one, is that you need to ensure that you find the lowest common denominator. If you struggle with that, simply use this method. You multiply in the denominators together first, so it means you're going to have b d, and then you multiply this first term with the first term, with the denominator of the second term with the value of with the numerator of the first term. So you're going to find yourself with a d, and then you simply also multiply. You use another pen. You multiply the denominator of the first term with the numerator of the second term. So it means you're going to find yourself with what? With b c. So that is how you easily find these values. Okay, now let's go back now and try to do something realistic. So if you have that problem, guys, there, which method of factorization do you think you can use? Because as you can see, you don't have any value saying squared, like things are a bit complicated. So go back to our previous lessons on factorization. Guys, I emphasize this, I think, in every video of fractions so far. Go back to the videos of factorizations. You need that skill a lot. From every lesson from this point going forward, you need your laws of factorization. Okay, so looking at the problem that you have, we use grouping. Now, that is one of the methods that we've covered on the previous lesson. We use grouping on this one. So grouping simply means you put the first two values and also the last two values on a bracket and try to find common factors from them. Now you simply have the common factor from this one is h and h. So you make sure that h goes out and you are left with x minus g. And separated by the plus sign, you bring back that plus sign and you find another common factor. So you have 13 and 13 there. So they are common factors. 13 is a common factor. You take it out and you open a bracket. You are left with x minus g. Okay. Now, what I like about the concept of grouping is that after taking out certain common factors, you are left with more common factors. So the fun part is, as you can see, x minus g and x minus g appears both sides. So it means now x minus g is also another common factor. So you now open another bracket with x minus g. And you open the second bracket, you write what is left. So you're left with g plus h. So you simply, h plus 13. So you simply write h plus 13 on that bracket. And then you divide this by x minus g. So if you are left with x minus g like that, you can easily now look at both the numerator and the denominator and see if you have anything common, and if you have anything that is common, you can simply divide them or cancel them out. So you have x minus g, which is going to divide the other x minus g, and you are left with h plus 13. So h plus 13 is your answer. We have simplified that fraction using the grouping method. So it's quite exciting, right? So now let's go to another example. Example 2. Example 2 looks huge. It is huge. And we need to use all the tools now. We need to unpack every tool that we know to simplify this fraction. So let's do it. So the first part says x squared minus 2x plus 1 divided by x minus 1 all cubed minus x squared plus x plus 1 divided by x to the power of 3 minus 1. So we have something quite exciting there. Okay, so the first part is, let's try to factorize our numerator there. So we open two brackets, and you have x and x, 1 and 1, factors of 1, right? And factors, how do I then choose my signs? I say negative and negative, because I know when I have this negative times this negative gives me a positive 1, and if I have negative 1 plus negative 1 gives me a negative 2, so we're still good. So we divide this by x to the power of 3. So now let's try to break down x to the power of 3, what it actually means. It means you have x minus 1 and another x minus 1 and another x minus 1. That's why it says x minus 1, all of that is to the power of 3. So it means you can repeat that bracket 3 times. Now this is minus x squared plus x plus 1. Guys, once you find yourself with such a situation, you cannot factorize that, because if you open two brackets and break down the values of the last term, you can never create, or you can never get a 1 there. So if you're in grade 11 or 12, you can try to use the quadratic formula, okay? So you can try to use the quadratic formula to find the value of x there, but it won't really help that much, okay? But now let me show you why I won't even factorize that. So this is going to be x squared plus x plus 1. So I brought it back as it is. We don't throw out numbers. Now, if you go back to our previous video, we've worked with factorizing the difference of two cubes. So yes, if you still want to understand how to actually factorize two cubes, there is a lesson ready for that. Now, if we factorize the difference of two cubes in this case, you'll have to say this is x minus 1. So you'll have one bracket of x minus 1, and the second bracket will simply have x squared plus x plus 1. Everything should be positive there. Okay. Now, this is the time where we start cancelling if necessary. Now, let's start to cancel. Looking at the first part, I have x minus 1, a bracket of x minus 1 cancelling one bracket of x minus 1, and we also have another bracket of x minus 1, so it can easily cancel another bracket of x minus 1. So on top there, we are left with 1 over x minus 1. And on the second part also, if we look at the second part, we have a full bracket of this trinomial there, x squared plus x plus 1. So I have also another x squared plus x plus 1 underneath, so I can easily cancel this whole bracket with that one, and I'm also left with a 1. Let me write it for you. So this is minus, I'm left with 1 over x minus 1. So this is what we like, this is what we like having. So once I have two denominators that are the same, I can simply take one denominator, so this is going to be x minus 1, and I add my numerators, which is going to be 1 minus 1. So if I have 1 minus 1 like that, this simply says I have 0 over x minus 1, and whenever you have 0 dividing any other number, you simply have 0 as your answer. So you can test it now. If you have 0 divided by 2, your answer is 0 divided by any number, it's also 0. So if that is the case, your answer is that. So guys, that is how we work around the addition and subtraction using the LCD, also making use of factorization. Okay, so like for us in this case, we had our common denominator ready there for us, so we didn't have to do much of math. But guys, this is how we actually work out these numbers. If you do not understand anything, pause the video, try to do it on your own, or go back, try to listen again and watch again how we actually work around these methods. Okay, so guys, keep on practicing, and I will definitely see you on the next lesson.